Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 146th episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. Tis I, Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up, what up? Ready to start this part two?
Part two of the round of 32, and if you're joining us for the first time, I'll direct you to the round of 64, part 1 and 2, and then to the round of 32, part 1. You're the fourth installment here. You need to work your way through it from the beginning. But yeah, so let's go ahead and pick up from where we were. We'll have some further explanation on what we're doing here in round of 32, part 1. So if you are here for the first time, strongly recommend you go listen to those first ones before you dive in here. That's just the bottom line. Let's get right into it. We got a 1 seed versus a 9 seed in Captain America versus Cyclops, and this is Steve Rogers versus Scott Summers, Cyclops. And this is an interesting one. We got a couple of leaders. Leader of men. Cyclops leading the X-Men for years, ever since 1963 with
Lover of Jean Grey.
What's that?
Lover of Jean Grey.
Lover of Jean Grey. Great. A ancestor to Nathan Summers, who is Cable. Very, very interesting.
Concept of Cyclops is just so cool. The storyline that he has, the constant battle between him and his power, sick. Controlling
constant battle between him and his power. You also got the fact that he's a little bit of a pushover. Like he is a leader of men, but because he feels obligated. It's not because he wants to necessarily. It's because he feels he needs to. Whereas Captain America, I'd say that's a leader of men who wanted to be a leader of men. You know what I'm saying? This was his objective.
It's in the name.
Yeah, Cap.
He's Cap, He's that dude.
He is. And I mean, obviously he doesn't want to be fighting battles, towards the end of the days there in Endgame, but he had that spirit. He wanted to be on the battlefield in World War II. He wanted to be out there.
The best thing about Cap is that he slowly becomes more and more Steve Rogers.
Yeah. As
time goes on, and that's what makes Cap's story beautiful, is that he's truly himself, and he has his morals. He sticks by them. He is like the most trustworthy man in the MCU.
There's a reason the successor to Steve Rogers is Sam Wilson, and the reason the predecessor to Sam Wilson was Steve Rogers. Like, these two are kindred spirits. They belong together. It made sense for them to work together, and it makes sense for them to be our Captain Americas.
You have to think that Steve, when he went back in time and was with Peggy, he had all of those years to think of who he's picking. And the decision was easy. I don't think it was a hard decision for him. No. It was probably, for him, it's between Bucky and Sam, and Bucky's just not a good Cap.
Not right now.
It's a pretty, as a friend, for Steve, it'd be hard to say no to Bucky, but I think he understands Bucky doesn't want it.
Well, I have the idea in my head that in Endgame, he does tell Bucky what's about to happen before it happens. That's how I think of it. Just because, when he does show up over there, Bucky knows he's there. He tells Sam, hey, go talk to him. That tells me Steve definitely talked to Bucky, and I think we even get like a little bit of a hint at that in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if I remember correctly. I need to give it a thorough rewatch to tell you for sure, but I've always had it in my head that Steve at least took Bucky aside and was like, I know that we were kind of in this together, but I have a chance to go do my thing, and when I get back, I'm gonna make Sam Captain America. And I have to think that Bucky, being who he is, was like, that's the right move, But like Bucky, like he's like, and he'll be a part of our next matchup, I'm pretty sure. But they just got each other, man. Bucky and Steve were like those three, the Bucky to Steve, Steve to Sam, Sam to Bucky connection. I love it. I love that little triangle there.
It's beautiful. It's yeah. I mean, Cyclops, you're part of the X-Men. You're cool. You're part of the cool kids club when it comes to Marvel.
One of the most storied Marvel characters there is.
But man,
however,
sorry you had to face Captain.
You had to face Captain America, man. You had to face Steve Rogers, and therefore Steve Rogers is moving on against Scott Summers here. And I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. I think that was a guarantee. Now,
whoa,
we're on to a 4 versus a 5 with Loki versus Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. And these are two characters who, a year ago, I'm in the exact same spot I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we've just got an even deeper expansion on both of these characters to an already pretty good expansion on these characters. Like,
this one, I don't know. I don't know.
There are
where
2
I
movies
stand
based around Bucky. There are like 3 movies based around Loki. Like,
I don't know who I'm picking on this one. Like, I really have no idea as of right now.
Nor do I.
I mean,
they have now that I'm looking at it, their storylines a little bit of a mirror there with obviously there's a different element in the fact that Bucky was controlled. He wasn't, Loki did all of his evil shit free will, and he in Loki we see him kind of overcome that in Infinity War and Ragnarok. We see how he deals with that and how he kind of recovers and tries to do good. But we see Bucky do it in what I feel is a much more meaningful way.
Whenever he's in Wakanda and he doesn't transform for the first time, like, he hears oh my God, how I bawl. Like, I was bawling,
dude,
bro.
And they kicked an episode off with that. That was the first thing they did in that episode, and it was like,
like, oh my God. And like, my initial reaction of picking a winner was Loki for some reason, but
and
then
I don't think that's the case, though.
Yeah,
it was it was also my gut instinct. But I think I got to go Bucky Barnes.
I think he went, like, I don't think it's really even close now that I think about it.
I do think it's close, and I do think that Loki as a series is damaging our vision of Loki himself. Regardless of how much we enjoyed Loki, it really didn't do him justice. It was a solid series, and the storyline was fun, but it's only really about him for a couple episodes. And then it's about a much larger thing happening that Loki is just unraveling.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I view it. The first couple episodes are so important. And I mean, episode 5 where he's in the void and like that becomes more of the character piece again, with him realizing that, his glorious purpose is her. And like, I love that. I'm still conflicted a little bit on the whole thing. So like, it's just like I have so much more confusion around the show Loki than I do the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and therefore I reflect on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier so much better. But
and on-screen performances before the two shows, like I mean, Bucky's is just more compelling. Like Loki is just the bad guy to be the bad guy, like in most of them.
Yeah.
So and like Bucky has like an emotional, great story. Loki does too.
I think like, dismissing the Loki Thor dynamic is something that like we can't leave out, because like what makes Bucky's story compelling is his relationship to Steve. And
I just realized who we matched up though. Like, yeah. Wow. This bracket is just working out beautifully.
It's falling into place really well.
Wow. But yeah, I don't want to discredit Loki like in any way. Like the first Avengers movie is that dude. Like Loki, like that, he's the reason for, I mean, it's Thanos really, but like he's the reason for Tony's PTSD. Like Loki has the impact Loki has on the MCU is huge. Like, bigger than pretty big fucking impact on the bigger MCU than Bucky's also. Impact. Like Loki's impact is bigger.
Loki's impact is big. Loki's impact is huge. Okay. Bucky is the Winter Soldier, who was a driving agent in Hydra taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. And thus a crucial point in Hydra falling by being taken down by Steve. And then the center of Civil War is Bucky.
True.
Bucky is like what I've come to realize throughout like this discussion, like over the past couple weeks with the character bracket. Like two of the most important characters in the MCU who have not gotten their like real shine, Gamora and Bucky. These two are two of the most important members of the MCU, affecting the mystical space, wild out there shit, and the grounded, realistic, real shit. They are two of the main driving forces of both of those sides. And like in Civil War, and Zemo, another guy that probably shouldn't have been on here. The way that he manipulates Tony, Steve, and Bucky to the point that he does, like, Bucky creates a lot of the conflict amongst Steve, Tony, and I mean T'Challa and the Black Widow, and like
that's true.
He straight up shot the Black Widow before. She's talked about that in the Winter Soldier. Like
he killed Tony's parents.
He killed Tony's parents, and I mean, yeah, Loki led the invasion of New York, and is obviously like on a more grand scale a villain, like early on anyway. Like we see Bucky carry out assassinations and covert operations and stuff like that, while Loki is invading New York with an alien army. Like that's a completely different game here. But Loki's progression.
But Bucky's progression.
It's a long road. But Bucky's redemption. See, this is so hard.
They have the same story. Like, they really have the same story. But Bucky's is just... You relate with Bucky the whole way because Bucky's evilness is not him.
It's not his choice.
So, like, you relate with Bucky way more just inherently. So... Yeah, I mean, right. That's what squeezes it out. Like, they are truly, like, the same character, and the only difference is that Loki legitimately was just kind of evil to be evil, and Bucky was not. And that's why Bucky pulls it out.
And that's another upset in the 5-4 category with Bucky elevating over Loki. And I'm with you, and I kind of wanted it from the beginning, but I needed to consider it. I needed to consider it. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
needed to give Loki his fair shake, and ultimately, we're saying goodbye to Loki in
Wow.
the round of 32, which I did not think was going to be happening.
Wow.
Whenever we had Loki face off with Heimdall round 1, I didn't anticipate him going down the next round. I'll say that for sure. But yeah, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, will advance over Loki, and we'll move on to the next round where we've got a couple of villains facing off. We've got a 3 versus a 6, and Thanos versus Green Goblin. Hey now, I'm going to say, it's probably Thanos. It's Thanos.
It is Thanos, but like
Green Goblin, that's an iconic character, and a character that for people our age is pretty much untouchable. You know what I'm saying in terms of iconicism? Like
a 22 movie build up to this dude. 22 or 23. I always forget.
23. It's not somewhere in there, but yeah, it's Thanos. Like Thanos was the end game for the largest interconnected storyline in the history of movies.
Was his first appearance the Age of Ultron post-credit scene where fine, I'll do it myself? Is that his first appearance? Or does he appear in the first Avengers post-credit scene?
He appears in the first Avengers, not in a post-credit scene. He's just
that's right. Oh my God. That's right. That's so early. That's insane. Like, wow. Yeah, I mean, okay, we'll talk more on Thanos later. There's so much to say about the guy, but Green Goblin deserves the spotlight here. He's the childhood villain, bro.
Is coming out November 22nd, but hey, we just got the Spider-Man No Way Home poster, and hopefully by the time this.
Did you see him in it? Did you see him in the poster?
Yeah, he's in the background.
Like it's the little glimpse of the suit. Like we haven't got the full detail of what it's
you can kind of make out purple and like I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. But I mean, like by the time this podcast is out, there's a chance that the second trailer has been released, which is interesting to contemplate.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Like a second trailer. Like I didn't even think of like that would even happen. Oh yeah. But duh, like they're going to have a second trailer.
They always have 2 trailers.
Yeah, but this poster is pretty sick.
And I mean, like I will say, I do appreciate that it's not like incredibly revealing. You know, we do see the sand, we see a lightning bolt, we see Green Goblin, we see Doc Ock's arms. Like, and it is just a shot from the movie that we've seen in the trailer. Like the post Spider-Man striking. I think they could have gone a little harder for this poster. There's been cooler fan art out there.
What I'm glad is Marvel movie posters usually suck because they just put a conglomerate of all the characters' faces up there.
Yeah.
You know, like the only times where a movie poster like that looks cool is like Star Wars, because it's like that's just the look of Star Wars. Like that's just how they did their movie posters, or like it was an iconic
and also
scene.
The Star Wars ones are typically painted.
Yeah.
Like the original ones and the prequels were. I mean, they went the other direction with the sequels too, but those are even more. Those posters are the best things about those movies, arguably, are the movie posters. Those are fucking fantastic. I'm
glad that Marvel didn't they straight their posters are becoming cooler now. And this is a step in the right direction. I love this trailer. This poster is cool. Looks like a poster that is going to be on so many kids' walls. I don't think it's going to, my collection of posters, it's not going to make it. But it's
there will, and the thing is there will be more No Way Home posters too. And there will be ones with what I'm assuming will be a suit that is actually in the movie. because as of right now, I'm pretty sure they have to put in a poster with this suit. I'm gonna tell you, I don't want this suit in the movie. I like the more that we get closer, the less I want it. And like, I'm cool with it, like I'm cool with the whole like. But we've gotten a new Spidey design every movie, every appearance. We've gotten a new Spidey design. It only makes sense that we're going to get a couple more here. You know what I'm saying? And there's that black and red and gold one that I'm pretty sure is the suit he'll probably be wearing in these shots, like during the trailer when he's wearing this Infinity suit.
Yeah, I hope it's way less tech. I hope he goes back to his fundamentals. Like, I hope he's like, I don't know. I want him to go back to base Spidey and realize he doesn't need all the tech.
I'm not going to tell you what they were. There were a couple more leaks today.
Really?
They're damning.
Really?
Like, it's like, oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
I'm going to see him eventually. Just go ahead.
Okay, so there's a picture of Toby, Andrew, and Tom all in the same shot. And then this is the fun one. This that one's one that you're like already suspecting. Then there was this talk of this character. There's this discussion amongst 4 characters. There's one that's like a real cool character that Tom Holland was honored to work with. And there's a scene with Aunt May and Jon Favreau is Happy and Tom Holland is Peter. And then on the other side of the table in their kitchen is Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Yes! Oh! Yes, dude. Oh, that's awesome. Thank God, man.
Right.
So wait, is he the lawyer?
See, I don't know. Like, is he like a potential lawyer? Like, or like, is like, I don't know.
Oh, no, he's definitely the lawyer. Yeah, that was. They couldn't put it. Yeah, dude, he's the lawyer.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh man, let's go. That's hype. Cause like,
so yeah. Sorry if you were looking forward to the excitement in Spider-Man: No Way Home, and I just ruined it for you. Cause
like Toby and Andrew, like, I'm fine if they're in the movie for a minute, literally.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't.
No, I don't either.
The more I
think and that's
about
the thing too, is that like I do know that this movie is going to have its own, like, it's going to have its own thing, and it's going to be about Tom Holland's Peter Parker because we're in the MCU. So like, we got to be okay with that. It's like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire aren't going to be the main characters of this fucking movie. That's just not going to happen.
But the Green Goblin, though, that's who I'm focused on. I'm focused on the villains of this movie. Like,
oh, dude, and the fact that we're getting like we saw Electro, Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin as of yet is what it appears to be, at least. Do you think, like, everyone's obsessed with the Sinister Six right now? Everyone's obsessed, like, there has to be 6. Well, here's the thing, is that, like,
are we even thinking about the fact that there could be 4 Doc Ocks out there? Or 6 Green Goblins? Like,
the multiverse is open. Like, it's not like there's one of each of these guys.
Yeah, like, there could be just a crap ton of them all fighting together. Like, I think that'd be sick. They're leading us into this, like, there's just one, of each of them that's coming into each universe, but then they're
you get a bunch of variants. And
imagine, like, 6 Green Goblins all flying in different looks, and they're all flying in. They all, like, throw their own version of a pumpkin bomb. Like, come on. Like, what's cooler than 1 Green Goblin? 6 Green Goblins. And they're all different. Like, then they could do the comic book, like with Loki, like they could do the classic comic book version look. They could do all the looks they want to do. Like,
true.
And everyone's satisfied.
I will say, that's probably a fair assumption. If there's multiple Spider-Mans on the table.
No one thought about the multiple villain,
multiple other versions of characters. But also, I do understand people's like, there's going to be 6. Just because, I mean, I think that's something they want to save, though. Like, it's not something they want to be like...
They want to reveal right away.
Yeah, like, because we already do have basically alluded to 4 for sure. We got another one and another thing that I won't spoil here. And then we've gotten one in a post-credit scene in Spider-Man Homecoming, potentially. That's 6. So it's like...
I see.
So it's like, I get where people are coming from. And I will say, I'm not obsessed with it. If they do end up being like, actually, it was just 4 of them, cool. It won't ruin it that it wasn't actually the Sinister Six. Like,
yeah, people are like gripping on to so many things in this movie, and they're going to be like really disappointed. Like, if they keep this expectation going into the movie, if they're expecting Toby and Andrew to be crucial roles, and they're to be like, you know, like the exact thing that they're wanting, and then they realize like, oh, we're being lied to in these trailers completely, and they're going to show us something crazy in the movie, like, people are going to be upset. Like, I think the movie's going to be great regardless. Like, and I think people will just love it. But I'm going in thinking Toby and Andrew are a slight cameo, and like the villains, like, I know who's in it, and that's all I'm going in with. Like,
what I'm very excited about is that Green Goblin is a part of this movie.
Yes.
That's fucking cool. Like, we know that for sure. And Green Goblin will sadly be losing to Thanos here, but with good reason. Thanos was just...
Back to formula!
Back to formula!
But yeah, Thanos. It's Thanos. I mean, come on.
It's Thanos. Yeah, we'll talk more on Thanos in the weeks to come. But let's go on to the next matchup here with a 7 seed versus a 2 seed. We've got Storm versus Captain Marvel. Now this is an interesting one because we got these are a couple of powerful heroines.
Yeah, they are.
And both extraordinarily compelling. It's hard to say.
And like you're to speak more on Storm than I can. I truly only know Captain Marvel's like all backstory and everything, like,
gotcha,
full knowledge. But like, I know enough of Storm,
yeah,
like to know.
Storm, like basis here. She is a woman who is her X gene has her in touch with nature. She's control
basically Mother Nature.
Yeah, control the weather, and it is very, very effective. There are stories where she is the Queen of Wakanda, married to T'Challa. There are stories.
That's sick.
She is really like a really, really cool character and a really storied character, and I think she's another one that like on-screen adaptations, like Halle Berry's on-screen adaptation was good. It's classic, but it's because the X-Men is so broad in scope with so many characters, you don't really get the focus on Storm like you'd probably hope you would in other things. Regardless, though, a really cool character. But I think I got to go Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I think our MCU preference is showing the deeper and deeper we get into this bracket a little bit. But Captain Marvel is just a really, really cool character. Like, I can't say enough about Captain Marvel. Like, the resilient spirit, like, the strength, the complete and utter power. Like, she's incredible. And I have all these things to say about Storm, too. It's just that, like, on screen, they haven't been portrayed as clearly as they have with Captain Marvel.
And we have so much more Captain Marvel content coming, like, with her out just in the galaxy saving other people. Like, that's going to be sick. Like, to see.
The fact that we're getting the Marvels with Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau teaming up with Captain Marvel. Like, what the fuck? That's awesome. Yeah, she'll just be around. And she was in the spoilers alert. She was in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi for a spell. Like, she's important. She's around, and she will continue to be so. And I just like her character a lot. And we're obviously going to be talking about her a lot next week. But
I wonder if they're pushing for a Thor Captain Marvel relationship in the future. With like the what if and like how Thor, like the first line Thor says is, "I like this one," you know, like, and they're like, I don't know if they're actually going for it or if it's just, you know, just for jokes.
I don't think
whatever,
so. I think it's going to ultimately be like a.
I've just seen so many fan fictions after that what if episode. Of like just them two.
There's an obvious like. They're both very attractive people. Like, obviously we would want to see them together on screen in some capacity. That's just a given. But no, I don't think they'll do that with Thor, especially with Jane
guess
Foster.
Jane's coming. Yeah, she's coming.
Jane
back.
Foster's coming back full swing somehow. So I think that's going to play a big role. If there's like, at the moment, if there was like any relationship I would have liked to have seen play out, it was with Maria Rambeau, with Monica's mom. Because like they had the best friend thing going, but there was something else going on there. There just had to be, because like when I'm watching that movie, the way they hug and the way they like talk to each other,
true,
and like. There's a romantic thing going on there. There just had to have been. And I think it does add to the potentiality of Monica's story regarding Carol going forward. Like,
yeah, it'll be very interesting seeing how like it all ties together.
And it is interesting because like we're gonna get more of that era of content, right? Because like they just really left that open with Maria Rambeau. Like, I don't think the last time we saw Maria Rambeau is going to be the last time we see Maria Rambeau, right? Like,
there's no way. I mean, with Monica, so. Like, we have her origin. Like, we haven't gotten her true origin. We have, like, her power origin story, you know, in WandaVision. But, like, she's going to get her whole,
oh yeah, you know, I mean, like, we
deep dive. And
she is in Captain Marvel and stuff. Like, so I am interested. Was Maria Rambeau a means to an end to get Monica in the story? Or is she someone we're going to see fledged out? And I really hope it's someone we see fledged out, because her and Carol's relationship is one of my favorites in the movie so far. Like their dynamic is fun, and they're really electric to watch on screen together. They're fun. But I really look forward to whatever's in store for the future of Captain Marvel's character, because it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, it's saying goodbye to Storm, but I think Captain Marvel definitely deserves this one.
I say so too. I say so as well. So let's go to this bottom half of this side of the bracket. We've got a 2 seed versus a 10 seed here. And Doctor Strange versus Quicksilver. And this is another one that's kind of light work. We're gonna go ahead and push Doctor Strange through.
Pretty
Quicksilver needs his love. You know, another one that made his first appearance in Uncanny X-Men #4, alongside Wanda Maximoff, and in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which is just a great little factoid about the character. And I love that all those characters came together so early, like Magneto, Wanda, Pietro, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, and Iceman, and like it's just like it's excellent. I love that all of those characters are so storied and so legendary, and
that iconic scene, man. Bana 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 bana, like.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
That, like,
who am I to disagree?
Fast people are just cool. Fast Flash.
Well, and I've been hearing. I'm excited to see in Eternals here that Makari is dope.
she is dope.
Okay, I've heard that Makari is the fucking shit.
She goes ham, bro. Like there's a part of the movie where you're like, oh, like yeah, like I don't know, like it's she's awesome. Yeah, she's really sick. And Quicksilver, like just being able to be that fast just allows you to do way more cool stuff. Like you can punch someone 30 times before they can even like, you know, like yeah. So like it's OP. Like
oh yeah, and like here's the thing: Quicksilver and the X-Men adaptations. That is the thing. Like they got Magneto, Professor X. For the most part, Wolverine. They missed with X-Men Origins and arguably the Wolverine movie from 2013 as well. But then Quicksilver. They knocked Quicksilver out of the park. And I will say I think that the MCU kind of did Quicksilver dirty because I just can't accept that anyone would die for Hawkeye.
2 people have died for Hawkeye, and it's unbelievable. At least 2. I don't know. Black Widow and Quicksilver. It should have been Hawkeye both times, but it's okay, I guess. I don't know. We have to deal with it.
See, and like he didn't sacrifice himself for Hawkeye.
It was for the kid.
It was for the kid that Hawkeye was holding. So like,
but one movie though. You only give him one movie.
Also, he's a speedster. Isn't their whole thing that they're faster than bullets?
He could have just picked him up and ran with them.
Like in X-Men, he's moving so much faster than the bullets. Like that. Like this was just like it's not lazy because you know the writer makes the choices. They get like whatever they say goes. And like if a speedster gets shot, a speedster gets shot. You know, he's distracted. He's helping the kid. He's helping Hawkeye. Maybe he like really didn't get there till the last second. But like.
Yeah, no.
Speedster, bro.
He could have literally just taken both of them away pretty easily. I mean, it's probably just to push Wanda.
It propels Wanda's story. And like for that I'm thankful.
Yeah. That's what it's meant to do. Is his death is I think that's why they had to do it in one movie. They couldn't let him continue on to another movie because if they did that, then killing him off in one, like the next one is like, I don't know.
Then it destroys Wanda even more pretty much immediately.
But, yeah, it's I mean, Doctor Strange though is Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme.
Almost every bit is storied as Quicksilver, coming from the early '60s with those absolutely magnificent, trippy ass comics. Just beautiful.
Bro beat Dormammu. I mean, like David versus Goliath, like that. Like that's nothing compared to. Yeah, like come on, man.
And the fact that him, Spider-Man, and Wanda are like, they're the nexus for the next year or so at least. Fuck yeah, baby! Like I'm all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Doctor Strange will be interesting to see if they go the dark route or if because he's never truly been like a hero. Like, you know, he's done
what he needed to survive.
Yeah, and now that he's the Sorcerer Supreme, you know, the Ancient One, she's not technically like a hero either. She's just really protecting the timeline but I guess is the timeline worth protecting anymore? And like, is the Sorcerer Supreme really a crucial thing, or like, is it just a forced job that is needed to be done? You know, like.
It is fascinating what they decide to do with Doctor Strange going forward, because with the multiverse breaking open and the Time Stone therefore becoming kind of irrelevant, the Ancient One had to have been in cahoots with He Who Remains, right? Like, because otherwise, how the fuck is there a timeline to maintain that you know about, that like, you know there's other universes and they could interact, and if that happens, it means war, like...
Yeah, who does the Ancient One answer to?
Well, and that became the concern in Doctor Strange, like amongst like Mordo and stuff, where he's like, "You've been using the fucking dark dimension to stay alive. The fuck is this? I don't trust you." And Mordo, just another fucking interesting wrinkle into what the fuck's going to happen in the next Doctor Strange movie, because he's going on a rampage at the end of the first one, talking about how like he's going to make sure that he's going to restore the natural way of things and shit like that. Like,
yeah, what? Who does she answer to? Who does she get like the knowledge from, or is it just?
Is it just the Sorcerer Supreme can be like that?
There has to be a higher power that's allowing that. Like,
well, then I would say that it's since He Who Remains isolates the timelines. All the people within those timelines know is the timeline they're in. And therefore, because the Ancient One is just a person who has learned the mystic arts and has learned to feed off the dark dimension, she is just a person who only knows about their timeline and knows that, like, knows the constraints within her timeline.
Yeah. It's just it's indirect. Like an indirect.
He Who Remains had made things the way they are on a loop forever so that, like, you couldn't find your way out. And the Ancient One couldn't get past that.
Just seems Marvel's moving in a way of no free will. It seems the only beings that have free will are like Celestials and people like He Who Remains, and like I guess it makes sense. Like it's sad, like a sad realization that humans like are not like nothing compared to like a Celestial. You know, like it's like to a Celestial and a human is like a human to like a microorganism. You know, like so. I guess I don't know.
Well, here's the thing too, is that like, I know you've had a real tough time grappling with the whole free will thing. And I do get it. Like, I do get how that can be a hard hang up, but ultimately what I have to like, the way that I have to do it is something that you never really want to do while you're watching. You have to
suspend it.
You have to pull yourself out, and then you have
just for
to go,
story. Like it's a story. Like it's a movie.
Just a story. Free will. None of them have free will. Someone's writing it.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like ultimately, that's
the
how
free will is the writer, and it trickles down to everybody because the writer had free will to write it. There, I'm comfortable with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've worked our way out of being afraid of the Marvel free will thing. But, it's Doctor Strange over Quicksilver all day. And with that, we're moving on to the next matchup where we have a 3 versus a 6 again, and Black Widow versus Dr. Octopus. And I will say, fresh off of rewatching Black Widow, I can confidently say the answer is Black Widow.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy, even though how nostalgic and iconic Doc Ock is to us, you know, growing up.
And let's save the Black Widow talk and give Doc Ock some love here.
Oh man, come on,
dude! Spider-Man 2, all-time comic book movie. That's an all-time nostalgia. Just endorphin when I'm watching that movie. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just making me happy. And Dr. Octopus's character is one of the most iconic villains of my lifetime. Like, I was thinking about it when we were talking about Green Goblin a little bit ago. And like, I think about the most iconic like villains of my childhood. And it's like Green Goblin, Darth Vader, Dr. Octopus, Darth Maul. And that's like it. Like, those are the iconic, like, being able to throw Green Goblin and Doc Ock up next to Darth Vader is special, and it's because of the year I was born. Mm-hmm. Because I was a child when I was watching Green Goblin and Doc Ock, forever cemented them in a way that a lot of villains will never cement with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. The only thing that gets me about Doc Ock is he's supposed to be the super genius, but the only thing that keeps him sane is very fragile, and at the very is very like you would think the thing, the little chip that like keeps him in control would be more protected and not so fragile. It's the smallest gripe. But every time like I see it break, like in the movie, I'm like, really, like this mega genius, like the thing that keeps him in control, like a genius, they're all arrogant and have to be in control at all times, and he doesn't protect this. Like that character, like he's iconic. Like it's
that very conundrum though, that he programmed the chip and programmed these arms to do one thing, and they would stop at nothing to fulfill that purpose in Spider-Man 2, which is why he goes back and does it. Like why he can't seem to stop trying to build it, because the arms are controlling him, which is basically him controlling him. It's his greatest ambition controlling him.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's like a small version of Ultron.
A little bit.
Yeah. He's like just driven mad, and like I love whenever there's like he realizes like I'm gonna go get Aunt May. Like this is you see like him formulate, like just think like, what do I have to do right now? Like Harry just told me go get Spider-Man. I need him alive. And then he's like, Peter, oh my God, Aunt May. And then the next scene is Aunt May. Poor Aunt May. She really just gets attacked all the time.
Oh, shame on you.
Yeah. In the bank, she's just trying to get a free toaster or whatever. And here comes Doc Ock throwing money bags. Why are there money bags in a bank? But like, is that really like? It made the scene way cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm cool with it.
Who can say? But yeah, I'm with you. Doc Ock is an iconic character, but for me, doesn't stack up to Black Widow. Black Widow is not just on screen, but as far as comics go, there's a modern Black Widow run ongoing now that I've been on since the first issue came out. One of my favorite comic book runs of all time. There's like no doubt in my mind, and it's portraying her as someone who has lost her memory and is living as just like a architect in San Francisco, and like Hawkeye and Bucky and Yelena Belova are like watching over her to make sure she's okay. And when she like keeps getting like little by little memories, she has a family and stuff. Like it's really fascinating. But
that's cool. Is she? I mean, in her What If performance, like, come on, man. Like her character in What If was cool. Just
so
I mean, like, she's like what Hawkeye should have been. You know, it's like Black Widow, she's like a character who doesn't have any amazing powers. She's just trained to kill, you know? But like, she's way cooler than Hawkeye. Like, Hawkeye's the same boat, but like, he just doesn't make it there. But Black Widow, like,
And I'm gonna tell you, watching that Black Widow movie, like, there is like one reason you don't like. If there is like a reason you don't like it, like if you don't like that movie and you were staunchly like, I saw someone put that in the pantheon of like Justice League and Catwoman and Ben Affleck's Daredevil, and I was like, you hate women. That was it. Like, because that movie is so innately just about overcoming misogyny. That's all it's about. It's about.
It's an amazing movie.
It's amazing. Her battling back against Dreykov and freeing the other widows, and like that's.
It's
all
just Marvel.
about.
Yeah, Marvel fans are mad just because it's not like post Endgame. It's not anything big. It's just another. You know, there's no like. We know that Black Widow's dead, so like the story doesn't matter. Like, you know, that's what people are thinking is like, this isn't No Way Home. This isn't, you know, like, yeah, like it's, I don't know, that movie, like on rewatch after just like being like, okay, this is just a movie. There's no implication. I'm just going to enjoy it. Like became like just an awesome movie. Like, cause yeah, people are just annoying. Like it's put in the same boat as a Captain Marvel movie. You know, like everyone's treating it the same way. It's like, just come on. How predictable can you get?
Exactly. It's like, and like there was this Vine, or not Vine, Jesus, TikTok, aging myself there. But
Wow.
she was talking about Eternals, and she was like, one thing I'm gonna say, if the dude bros hate it, I'ma have it. I'ma like it. Because like that's typically how it goes. If you are one of the dudes who is stereotypically misogynist, stereotypically racist, you can't gender swap roles, you can't race swap roles, guess what? You're a fucking loser. Like,
you're gonna hate Eternals. Don't even watch it. If you're one of those people, just don't go. It'd be better off if you just, go open your mind a little bit and enjoy the movie, actually.
Yeah, open your mind a little bit. Like, just be, like, mainly, don't be a fucking bigot. Like, that's just the primary thing here when we're talking about Black Widow and we're talking about Captain Marvel and Shang-Chi and so on and so forth and the Eternals. Like, just don't be a fucking bigot, please. And speaking of, we'll have Black Widow moving on past Doc Ock here. Speaking of Shang-Chi, though, we've got a 4 versus a 5 here. Vision versus Shang-Chi. And for me, this is easy. However, I hate to see Shang-Chi go.
Yeah.
Because he is the brand new character, one movie under his belt. Boy, was it a good fucking movie, though.
Yeah, it was.
And now by the time this is out, it'll be on Disney Plus, and we can kind of talk about it.
Rewatch after rewatch after I'm going to watch that movie.
After rewatch, dude. I will be watching this movie all of the time because it is just like, besides Into the Spider-Verse and Doctor Strange, this is the best, or like it's up amongst those as the best origin film in Marvel. For sure.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful. It's like a work of art. This movie,
dude,
like,
it's magnificent.
The martial arts, fantastic. The story, fantastic. The characters, fantastic. Like, I don't know what more you can ask for in a movie. Like, it's funny, it's action packed, it's emotionally packed. Like, it has everything that you want in a movie. Like, as a Marvel fan, this movie should be like up there. Like,
up there.
They did a great job with this movie. They killed it. Like, I don't know. Like, it is sad to see him go because, like, Vision is Vision and just the history of Vision.
And I'm a ride for Vision, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that. Going forward in this tournament, I'm a ride for Vision.
He's got it. He's got it. Looking
ahead.
Well, for the next, like, yeah, he's
We'll
Vision's
it'll get hard. It'll get tough for him. But
he's a strong.
I'm a ride for my man Vision because let me tell you, no character has aged as well for me since their introduction. I couldn't have given less of a shit about Vision when I was 15 and Age of Ultron was coming.
True. Yeah, I just thought of him as like a robot guy. Like,
yep, yeah, absolutely. And this is. And you'll notice the trend here. The way we talk about Wanda Maximoff, and the way we talk about Vision, and the way we talk about Bucky, and the way we talk about Sam. These TV shows are the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they are what are really going to give us the emotional grounding for the characters going forward. Even Loki. The reason we like Loki are those, he has his moments in Ragnarok and has his moment in Infinity War and his ultimate sacrifice. But it's his development in Loki that makes us go, that's a good guy.
These TV shows are letting us realize all of the things we've missed as a kid watching these movies growing up.
Yeah.
And it's like, now that we have cool brain, functioning actual deep critical thought brain.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think back to high school, I was just a fucking moron.
Yeah.
I thought I was smart too, but I was a fucking moron.
Yeah, I hope like in 5 years I don't have that thought again.
Right.
I think I'm in a way better spot. Like,
well,
I think this is like, yeah.
Here's the thing is that, like, I know that I can look back on high school and go, I was a moron. I hope that in 5 years from now I can go, wow, I'm a lot smarter than I was then. Not, wow, I was a moron. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty confident I'm not a moron anymore, but I do hope I get smarter.
Yeah. And a perfect just like as Vision, you know, like that dude, he's all about the philosophy right now, man. Like, I mean, come on, Ship of Theseus.
Are you familiar with the thought experiment of the Ship of Theseus?
And think about it. He first busts out. He's out and he's violent for like 5 seconds, and then he sees his reflection, and everything changes. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I acted rash. Like, did not mean to do that. You know, like, just how collected he is immediately. Like,
dude, I love Vision. Just he's ultimately what Tony aimed for Ultron to be.
Yeah.
And better, I'd argue. Tony aimed to control whatever he created. Meanwhile, Vision found the good all on his own. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with a little help from Wanda, but found the good on his own. He knew objectively what the right thing to do was immediately. And
I'm on the side of life. And Ultron isn't. It's that simple. Yeah. Like, boom. Like, man, this guy gets it. Like, right away. Yeah, he, like...
And Paul Bettany.
Oh, his voice.
It doesn't get better than Paul Bettany.
His performance is amazing. And in WandaVision, too.
Oh, and WandaVision is what seals it for Vision. That is... I think back, and, like, I know we were talking just going crazy over the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I do think it is critically the best show of the three. WandaVision's probably my favorite, though. Like, when I think back to, like, the way watching those episodes for the first time made me feel.
Oh, yeah. WandaVision is the favorite.
Excited. Like, I was it was so much fun. And seeing those first 2 episodes in black and white where it's all fun and games and Vision's goofy as hell. And there are those moments that make you unsettled, but you're like, I'm going to ignore those for now and just have some fun. It ultimately gets to that point where you can't ignore it and you can't have fun and you got to go, Jesus, what's happening here? And boy, oh boy, is it just a fun series. And the fact that Wanda could create such a faithful recreation of Vision shows just how much a part of her he was. Like,
they like really love each other, man. Like,
dude, like the best relationship in comic book media.
Oh yeah. Like,
the fact that they can never get a happy ending is going to be devastating to me. Because they'll never get it. That's past.
The poor guys.
It's been like 4 times she's watched this man die.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she killed him, then Thanos wound back, then watched Thanos kill him. He died when he faded away when Westworld was fading. Westview, sorry.
And then the time basically when he was falling apart and she expanded the hex.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Wanda's been through it, man. Wanda has been through it.
Stop lying to me, Wanda. Nah, like Vision's just the shit. And Shang-Chi's dope. And I'm sure one day he could be surpassing Vision. But I gotta tell you, as of right now, Vision's like a top 5 favorite of mine. So probably I'm gonna be riding for this man for a while.
He's a brainiac. He's basically good Ultron, so he's very up there with me. Like, he's top 5 of my Marvel heroes. So Vision's sick.
Well, yeah. So we got Vision advancing past Shang-Chi, and that brings us to our final matchup of the round of 32, where we will have a 1 seed versus an 8 seed in Thor versus Rocket. And it's a shame that we have to see all of the Guardians of the Galaxy get eliminated by the round of 32.
Mm-hmm. Devastating. That is just the word that follows the Guardians around. It's true. They all have devastating stories, and it makes sense that Thor is joining them with his devastating story. And I just can't help but look at how these brackets are forming, and we literally are putting the guy who gave Vision his life, like up against him next, which is just really cool. Like the dude who gave him that last little bit of power to become, born. Like, that's pretty sick. But
like Thor was just like, everyone was like arguing about it, and he was like, for the love of God.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'm getting this over with. But Rocket, I mean, one of my favorite Guardians. Like, he's just funny. He's hilarious, like.
Well, and I mean, like, and just compelling in a sad way. Like, they found a way to make all of the Guardians characters sad.
That boy was experimented on
like
a lot. Like that. Like, yeah, they give
Groot has a certain sadness to him because of his isolation. Like, the fact that he is the only one of his kind around. He hasn't really seen, like, it reminds me of Chewbacca in Star Wars. You don't see a ton of Wookiees in the original trilogy. It's kind of like he's chosen a new family instead of riding with his people. Garazeb Aurelios and Rebels, there's plenty of exampos in Star Wars of that.
Yeah, man, they're all just tragic. Drax, Thanos killed his whole planet and family. Gamora is, Gamora.
Tragic. Star-Lord's mother was killed by his father, who's a planet.
Dad's a planet. Yeah. Damn.
Damn, can't believe my father's a planet.
Mantis. I mean,
a slave to Star-Lord's father.
And, like, can just feel all of the sad emotions of people. So, like, she's felt all the devastation of each of the Guardians and knows the devastation of each of them more than any of, like, the other ones. So, like, that's devastating. They're all just, it's very sad.
Well, and I mean, like, Yondu?
Damn.
Another guy who probably should have made this bracket.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. His voice. That voice.
Oh, no, iconic.
Man.
He may have been your father, boy.
That funeral.
But he ain't your daddy.
That funeral was sick.
Oh, dude, tears every time. And this is another thing to Rocket's credit. Whenever that I talked about this in the round of 64. Whenever he's sitting there and he sees the outpouring of love for Yondu and that connection him and Yondu had made earlier, and Yondu's like, "I know you, boy, because you're me." And you're just like, this is really over the top, but I love it.
Those movies.
Rocket's just like, they loved him anyway, even though he stole batteries he didn't need it. Well.
Oh man, those movies are just beautiful. Volume 1 and 2, just masterpieces. But yeah, Rocket, I'm sorry you had to go up against Thor.
We will certainly be talking about more.
Yeah, I mean, it's Thor. So.
Don't need to elaborate much on why Thor beats Rocket Raccoon.
Still, like, Gamora's still leading even though Thor's there. Like,
facts. Well, and here's the thing, though. How was Gamora folded in again?
That's true.
I think she went back to her time. I don't think she...
Oh. Well, did she?
Can she?
Why would
she? Like, why doesn't she just go ahead and shack up with the Guardians in the future now? Like, you were just Thanos' daughter a while ago.
Like she just... Go ahead and... She basically had, like, a... Yeah. She realized that, like, if you're told that the next however long of your life is going to be wasted and like not what you want to do, and you can do what you want to do earlier, but not earlier because it's in the future.
The thing is that she hasn't come to the conclusions that the other Gamora had.
That's true.
Like,
and she's starting to. Yeah, she's like literally like, oh, this is the guy. That's what makes me think she stayed, is like the line to Peter Quill, like him and Nebula there, like, this is the one, like, yeah, really, like, I think that's like what's going to make her stick around. And it's just a perfect way to replace her too, after the sacrifice. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I think she sticks around for sure. But was she in the ship with Thor and all them? Like, whenever...
I don't remember.
Oh, wait, no, that was before that even happened, though. Yeah, that was like before Thor even had Stormbreaker, that he was with them in the ship and stuff. So Gamora, wait a minute.
Well, when
No,
he gets
Gamora
on the
came
ship-
back whenever Thanos zoomed back, right?
So here's my knowledge of the situation, as it were. At the end of Endgame, Thor is going on board the Guardian ship, leaving Valkyrie, another character
That's
who
right.
probably should have been on
No,
this,
that is right.
as ruler of New Asgard, the king of New Asgard. My problem is recollecting whether or not Gamora was on the ship at that point.
Yeah, I don't remember. Because it was just focusing on Thor and Peter Quill, right?
Quill.
Like that was like the main focus. I mean, I'd say they're keeping Gamora.
Oh yeah, there's no. I don't think they're going to do away with her, especially since her story wasn't really like fulfilled. It was just a means to an end for Thanos, which is devastating in and of itself, and another credit to her character, I think. But yeah, Guardians all had to go. At least Thor gets to advance on in their name.
Yeah, I'm skimming through Endgame right now. Trying to look. Yeah, it's not after here it is. Okay. He's talking to Valkyrie. They're in the ship. He's searching for Gamora. That's what it opens up on. It's Quill looking for Gamora, so she left.
Gotcha.
Dang. Okay.
See, and that made sense to me. I was like, the Gamora that we see from 14 or whatever, she hasn't. She's still very, very fiercely independent, hasn't gone to prison with the Guardians, realized why she needs to stick by them, lived through their entire battle of the first, like at the end of the first Guardians. Like, she's got a whole other thing before she can come back and really be. And I mean, like, I expect the same will be the same. It'll be the same for Nebula. Like, I'm assuming Nebula probably ran off with Gamora. Like, they have a new chance to rekindle their sisterhood.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, that concludes the round of 32, and we'll be on to the Sweet 16 next week. Let me give you a rundown here. Let's go through these. So the Sweet 16 will see Captain America versus the Winter Soldier. Fitting. Thanos versus Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange versus Black Widow, and Vision versus Thor. Holy shit, what a side of the bracket.
Yeah, we're getting...
And on the other side of the bracket, we'll have Spider-Man versus Deadpool, Hulk versus Scarlet Witch, Black Panther versus Wolverine, and Sam Wilson versus Iron Man.
Hard now.
I gotta say, that is a sweet 16.
Yeah, it's gonna get hard now.
This is gonna get really fucking difficult. But yeah, man, I don't got anything else to say here. That was the round of 32. And this was the Penny Bloom Podcast. It was I, Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Love doing these brackets, and can't wait to see who's the winner eventually of this one.
Cannot wait. And it's going to be interesting, because right now, I can't tell you exactly who that's going to be.
I can make one guess
and
for a guy who's in the final for sure, probably, but not the winner.
Not the winner. I don't know. I'm ready though. And what I'll ask of the listeners here is head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 20 hours of exclusive content, including the entire planning and seeding for this very tournament. We laid out a bunch more characters and had to limit it down to 64. So you'll hear all the extras we had over there. If you would, head to Twitter and follow @PennyBloomPod, where we're posting all of these matchups every week, and the poll will run for a week long up until our next episode is out. We look forward to hearing what you think about these matchups. Follow on Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise Keanu Reeves.